welcome to Somewhere on the Spectrum. Just a little video today to talk about a common challenge for those with ADHD and autism. Time blindness is the inability to feel the passage of time. To an extent, we have all experienced it. The feeling that a 2-hour exam lasts 5 hours, or an afternoon with your special interest or good friend that seems to pass in just 5 minutes. But for the neurodiverse among us, the phenomenon isn't limited to specific events or occasions, like when you're having a great time. It's all the time. Are you afraid to start something on the days that you have an appointment in case you miss your appointment? Are you constantly worried about being late, yet somehow seem unable to be on time? Are your finances in a terrible state because you never planned for the future or couldn't understand how compound interests work because you still feel 16? Time blindness may seem like a small issue, but if you live in a culture like ours that prioritizes time and being on time, it's a really big problem. So, do you think you have time blindness? If yes, the next step is to identify how is it affecting your life. First, we acknowledge the problem, then we identify solutions and strategies to manage it. Think about, where is your time blindness most problematic? Is it being late? Is it getting distracted on tasks? Is it losing track of time while you're scrolling on social media? Is it affecting your sleep routine? Or perhaps getting your kids in trouble for being late to school? Or have you designed a life where it doesn't really matter anymore? Once you've identified the big problem areas, then we need to look for solutions and strategies. And there are a lot out there. Google it, ask in social media groups, ask AI, or feel free to ask in the comments section here too. If you're asking AI, then you need to make sure that your question is specific. Something like, I have time blindness, I'm autistic or ADHD. What can I do to be on time? That kind of thing. Once you have a list of strategies, then it's time to try them out. And it's really important that you do try a bunch of different things because everybody's different, right? So some things are gonna work for some people, but not for others. So don't just feel like now I have my strategies, or even don't get a list of strategies and then be so overwhelmed by the fact that there's too many strategies that you don't start doing any of them. Oh my God, I can see that happening. I can see it happening. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, so if you have a list of strategies and they're too long, don't panic. Cut some of your list up. Literally cut it into pieces. Put them, stack them behind each other. Put a paperclip on it. Work through them 2 at a time or something. If your list is too long, make your list shorter. Don't throw the list away. I know. I know. Anyway, so you have your list of strategies, which is very short, and we've got to try some of them out. And remember that some of them will work and some of them will not work. Some of them you might be able to change a little bit to see if they work. But remember that your brain is unique. You're gathering ideas, but how can you make it work for you? But the thing is, you are a problem solver, probably. Okay, not all of us are problem solvers, but a lot of us are problem solvers. If you are not a problem solver, find yourself a local friend who is a problem solver and put your heads together. Don't panic. Okay, so think about, how can you make this work for you? So for example, I am using a Clever Fox journal. They've not paid me for this advertisement. Ever since I started using Clever Fox, which actually I got the idea from Clever Fox. I'd never heard of them before. And I saw it in a video in Yosemite Sam. And I was like, what's that? And I went and Googled it and it's really cool. I probably at some point will do a more in-depth thing about using journals and how to make them work for you. But basically I started with How to ADHD's video on bullet journals. I took some of the ideas from bullet journals and then eventually applied them with the Clever Fox. But I started off with a 60p notebook to test the bullet journal idea because I didn't want to spend a lot of money on something that wasn't going to work. And I found that it was really helpful, but it wasn't enough. The Clever Fox journal has a lot of stuff already organized for you, and so you can work within those boundaries. The main thing for me is that the Clever Fox journal allows me to track things over time. So whereas before I had my to-do list, did my to-do list, threw it out, I had no evidence that I'd done anything. So I really started to feel like I wasn't accomplishing anything. I wasn't moving forward with anything. Whereas now I have my journal, I'm literally ticking off jobs, but I can go back and see what I've done on different days. I don't really check it. The point is I have a whole book full of, look how busy I've been. Over time, that builds up. You build confidence in yourself. You start to believe in yourself because you see, I am doing things, I am accomplishing things. Look what I've done. That was 2 different ideas put together and tweaked for me to make it work. That's what we're talking about. In addition, when I have big meetings or any kind of meetings, little meetings, any kind of meetings, it goes into the journal. In addition, it's on my calendar. I've got reminders on my calendar that are going to go off that day, 30 minutes before. And I also have alarms that I set on the day for 30 minutes before and 5 minutes before. So when I open the book, I can see, today I have this. Then I set my alarms right at that moment. Then I go off and have my day. And then the alarms start coming in about 30 minutes before. But usually I've looked at my journal several times during the day. So I'm kind of preparing myself all day that I have this thing coming up. So by the time it happens, I don't feel like stress about it because my brain's been getting ready for it all day. And also I'm less likely to be late because I've had 30 minutes and then 5 minutes as reminders. So if I forgot to turn the computer on or I needed to go to the bathroom or something like that, then I've had some reminders. So again, it's taking ideas that I've seen and then adapting them to how they work for me. The diary helps me track what I've done with my time, and it helps me see that my time hasn't been wasted. And I think when we have time blindness, it's very easy for time to pass and us just not to notice that it's passed. And that can be years passing and we don't notice. You know, other people say the older you get, time passes more quickly. And that's true. But also I think it's very easy for us to lose track of our lives. And certainly money is a big one where that can happen too. We have the intention of doing something and then time passes and we just don't. It can easily slip our mind. So really, we do need to start working on these different strategies to help ourselves so that we can accomplish the things that we want to accomplish. To me, time blindness is a massive one. It has got in my way so many times in my life from so many different ways, whether it's missing things, being late for things, changing people's perception of you because you've forgotten things or you didn't realize it had taken so long, or, you know, even with friendships, it's very hard for me to understand how long it's been since I've been in touch with someone because to me it was yesterday. So the time blindness makes it hard for me to track and remember to call people, to stay in touch with people. There's a whole bunch of other stuff going on there, but that's one of the things. Time blindness can affect us in a big way and affect our lives. So I would say it's time. It's time for us to deal with this. It's time for us to find a solution, to find a way that we can pin our lives down and start to do what we want to do when we want to do it. I hope that's useful. Let me know in the comments if you have any strategies or good places to find your strategies, and I'll see you next time. Bye.